The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Y'all ready for this?
We are back. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, isn't it?
Yep.
April 25th, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, and I'm so glad to be back.
Yes.
Co-host tonight for our special draft. NFL 2018 draft, which is scheduled for tomorrow night prime time, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And this is our annual NFL draft special. And with us, of course, if we've got drafts and it's NFL, that means it's time for the prognosticator himself, Jorge Misch from Cleveland, Ohio. George, how you doing, man?
Wonderful. I want to change everything I fixed all day. I'm changing everything as we speak.
Oh, boy.
Well,
it's a lot of work to change everything.
You're not kidding. You know, folks, this is an opportunity for the three of us, and who's kidding who? Primarily George and Jeff, to tell us their picks for the upcoming, or at least our predictions for the first round only, of the 2018 NFL Draft. I'll put this out there. George and I spoke earlier this morning, and because I was getting a little frisky and a little worried because I ended up on some bizarre site and these positions were starting to change a little bit here and a little bit there. But George talked me down off the ledge and said, look, Billy, this is nothing is going to change. If it does change, it'll probably be tomorrow just before the show, rather to tomorrow night's draft. And I appreciate that, George, because I was really starting to kind of wig out.
I was looking at mock drafts, and you got a little bit nervous.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you reeling me in.
Okay, that's what I'm hearing. You know about the banana in the convenience store, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so what we want to do is just there are 32 positions in the first round, and obviously for time constraints, we are not going to go obviously down into the minutia of every single one of them, but here are sort of the guidelines. I'm relying on George and Jeff with their vast knowledge and the fact that they actually pay attention to this sort of thing as opposed to my own. And I will note their picks, and then we will post them, and then see exactly how everyone does. So without further ado, I think what we'd like to do is maybe take the first 6 picks.
Oh, boy.
Or all right, how about the first 3 at a time?
Yeah. I mean, any way you want to do it, man. I'm good.
Okay. And George, would you like to kick this off, especially since Cleveland has the first pick?
But remember, now I'm prefacing this if these are guesses by everybody, the sources that these people have, that wherever they say they're full of crap. All right, this is guesses, and if you get 4 or 5 right out of 32, you're almost a genius. As I looked up past things with people that I know that do this for a living, and it's not easy, but so it's just a fun thing, and don't holler.
Well, listen, if anybody's having fun, it's definitely me. But hang on, Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, so are you saying that out of the first 32 picks, if we get 4 right, then we're a genius?
I'm a genius anyway, but...
Well, I know that. I was about to say.
Yes.
No, the reason why I asked that, because I actually got exactly 4 right last year.
Yeah, it's and then I read an article in some other thing that if you get more than 1 right in the rest of the draft, through 2nd through 7th pick, you are doing very well too. I mean, if you just get them in the right round, you're almost a genius.
Yeah.
So we're talking about GM material then, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, we better get going here. It's 8:13.
All right. So George, without further ado, buddy.
Hey, you should go to
want me to go?
The first four, because I mean, obviously you got 2 of the first 4 picks in Cleveland.
Okay,
So
top of the board, the rumor around here from Mary Kay Cabot, who hasn't been right since she was a little kid, but she's a beautiful woman, so I can do that. That's fine. I'm sorry. But I'm going with Darnold. The big rumor is Mayfield or Allen. But once again, the sources, whoever they are, if one time they just come out and say, my source is Guy Detroit or something, I would be happier than hell. But I believe Darnold's the man. He's the safest pick, and I'm going with him. The Giants, really their biggest need is a cornerback, not quarterback, but cornerback, but it's way too early for that. So I'll take Barkley in the second to go there. Now here's the difference. All the world have said that Mayfield is going to the Jets. I'm taking UCLA boy, Rosen to go third.
Are you really?
Did I stutter?
No, you didn't.
Okay. I think he's a better pick, but Mayfield probably will end up going there, but I think he's rated higher. I like Rosen higher. And then even though Myles Garrett is a little bit unhappy that he would have some competition in sacks, I think Chubb is just that's a best player available pick. Too easy to pick. Makes so much sense. Build the defense first and then worry about the rest of the stuff afterwards.
Okay. And for the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, you're going 5.
I'm sorry, Browns number 4?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was the defensive.
Cleveland, Giants, Jets, Cleveland.
Got it.
Chubb, he's got Chubb going to Cleveland.
Chubb, okay, got it.
That's Bradley Chubbs, not Nick Chubbs.
Okay. Jeffrey.
I don't even know how you can pick this first pick because Cleveland literally picks more quarterbacks than like anybody. I mean, what do they have? This would be in the last 20 seasons about the 19th quarterback in uniform, or
Could be.
yeah, somewhere around there. But obviously, they're going to pick a quarterback. My personal thought is that Josh Allen is the best quarterback. We've discussed that. He's laughing, but he also wait. You laughing or coughing?
Go ahead.
Is that a laugh or a cough?
That was like a gag.
It's funny because when I talked about the best running back being in St. Louis at the time, and then for the Rams, you also laughed at that. So
Yeah, well, that's
ironically. Anyways, so even though that I think he's the best quarterback in the draft, when he's put around the most weapons, that he will end up being the one that stands the test of time here. I think that they will pick Darnold as the number 1 pick, which I think is a mistake. By the way, he'll be a flop, and mainly because he's from from USC.
Well, okay there. Hang on a minute. For a minute there, I thought, well, maybe it's an irrational feeling here, but
No. As far as I really wanted Mayfield to go to the Giants, but I don't think that the Giants are going to pick a quarterback in the first round. I think there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks around when everything's said and done. I'm interested to see what exactly the Giants are after, because there's been kind of mixed feelings about the whole thing.
right.
I mean, if you listen to the commentators, ESPN, all the people that know, which basically are the same people that get it wrong every single year, you would think that they would pick maybe an offensive lineman or somebody else, but I think they're going to go out of sorts in a sense and pick up somebody they really need. They need a running back. There's a couple decent running backs available. Do you think Barkley's too high to go as a second pick, or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that's going to be my second pick.
No,
I think they're going to shock the world, or either that or they're going to trade out of that pick, which I could hold on. So if they trade out, am I still a genius if I get 4 right? Or
Yes.
Is that, okay, good.
Yeah,
Very
listen,
good.
hey, look, it's on the basis of what's there now.
Right.
If have that kind of clairvoyant to see a trade and also get that right, we're doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
here.
we have the wrong. I mean, the thing that Giants need are about 7 players. So, and I did see.
Take your pick.
Yeah. So I don't see where like this one pick's going to benefit them. I think that they should be in a position to maybe, use that pick to get what they really wanted, which is multiple picks.
I understand. And number 3 for the Jets?
Well, they obviously are going to pick up a quarterback. So I know that they've talked to Mayfield a lot. Kind of on the fence about this whole thing, but I do think that they go after Rosen. I'm not a big fan of that pick either. By the way, I don't think that either one of those Southern California quarterbacks are going to do much. But Rosen, I would be my pick, and then it's clear that with that 4th pick that Cleveland's either going to trade or they're going to pick Chubb. That's one or the other. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, he's definitely the what they need, which is a guy with size, 6'5", and 270 pounds to rush the quarterback. So.
All right. Well, okay, guys. Next, we've got from 5th to 8th, and that would be Denver.
Where's your picks?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you want your picks, man.
Yeah, honestly, then I'm going to basically pick one of your picks, and you guys are pretty much lockstep. So
real quick, I know time is, but Jeffrey, what happens if, and it's very possible that the Giants take Chubb to replace Pierre-Paul or whatever his name is? Then what would Cleveland do? Would they go for? I think they go then for like a Fitzpatrick or for cornerback instead of Barkley. I really do.
My opinion on that is if Barkley's still available, I do think the Giants, if they don't trade their pick, are gonna like shock a little bit of people there. But in the event that he's still available, I think that Cleveland should take him. I mean, me looking at it from the standpoint I'm looking at it as, which is basically not a GM, obviously, but looking at it from the standpoint that if I was the GM, then I wouldn't have Hugh Jackson as my coach. So.
Point taken.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that the offense or whatever they're picking. I mean, I heard today that Hugh Jackson still didn't know who they were going to pick.
Well, he's a liar. He's a liar.
Wait, so do you think he really knows?
Yeah, I believe I'm sure he knows. He's a liar if he says he doesn't know who the pick is.
I know Jim Brown told him if he didn't take Barkley, he's going to kick his ass at 82 years old. So I'd like to even see that. Then he can throw him in the lake because he never jumped in the lake in his promise. So
say it ain't so.
Okay, let's go back to number 5, Denver. Are you ready?
Just so you know, hold on. Jim Brown's minus, he's plus 230 in that fight, by the way. Hugh Jackson, I think, can take him.
Okay, well, I wouldn't want the first punch to come. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, number 5, Denver. I don't believe in the quarterback stuff that's going around there. I don't know why you would pick up a Keenum and then right away make him feel like he's a dog. So I'm going with the surest pick of the whole draft, that Quentin Nelson, a guard. I know they need a tackle more, but there is no tackle even close to the top 10. Well, maybe 10. I just gave it away, but it's got to be Nelson going to Denver. Or a quarterback, or they trade down. So they could do a lot with that. But Quentin, as is right now, Indianapolis, they certainly. Well, I don't know if Luck's ever going to throw a pass the rest of his life, but it's getting scary. But I'm going to go a little bit off key and take Raquan Smith, outside linebacker at number 6. That fits in. I got him number 5, and I put them at 6.
I'm sorry. What was his name again?
Raquan Smith.
Okay.
Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Spelling that out.
Thank you.
To bring a little levity in, I actually have a website up right now in case something comes to me. It's the 2018 NFL Draft Pronunciation Guide by name.
Wow.
I mean it. I have it.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, on draftcountdown.com.
All right.
Anyway, all right, number 7, it's, I don't know who's better, but everybody is saying James is the pick for Tampa. Every site I go to, James, and I think he's the pick there. Safety would be the choice there. What's his name? First name? I don't know. What's the Derwin or something? I apologize, Mr. James.
No problem.
And then at number 8, the Bears.
Bears.
Bears were very unhappy when Nelson went to the Denver. I got them taking Tremaine Edmonds, an outside linebacker, inside linebacker, which will help them immensely on defense.
Okay. All right, Jeffrey. 5 through 8.
Well, I mean, let's start by saying that almost every single one of these teams need offense, and they're probably going to be leaning towards the offensive candidates. I just lost my draft order. Hold on one second. Sorry, George, man. I know that your web is in a lot better position than mine, so hold on one second.
I write it down all the time. I write everything written down on legal pads.
Well, I have notes, but
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
understand.
that's the problem when you have like 10 tabs up.
It's time to.
I really honestly do have 10 tabs up, so.
It's all right.
Okay, here we
Well,
go.
I'm talking. You're trying to bet a halftime game on one of the basketballs or something like that.
No. So Denver Broncos are obviously going to be picking a quarterback. I mean, this is my opinion, of course.
Yes, of course.
So I know that there a lot of people have been talking about Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen both going to Denver. I'm not really even like sold on either one of those two. I mean, I know John Elway's the guy. He wants that exact guy that he wants. So I am going to say Josh Allen, just because I believe that there's
That gets Elway.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that Elway believes that he can develop anybody into whatever he wants it to be.
I
So,
think he not only believes that, but I think he probably can too.
yeah, there's no doubt. Okay, so Indianapolis Colts, I mean, we could name tons of stuff that they need. I mean, they obviously are
What a quarterback.
quarterback. Well, I mean, I think that they believe that Luck's going to be back and he's going to be their guy, but I'm not completely sold on that.
Yeah, they believe that for the last 3 or 4 years.
Throwing a ball.
Yeah, exactly. I think they go after some offensive line. I'm going to take Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame. He's definitely the best offensive lineman that's out there. I mean, there's a lot of weapons and a lot of, they're kind of like the Giants in a sense.
Yeah.
That this is a team that actually needs more than one player. So it's when you're in a position to with a high pick up there, you almost always have to see what you can get.
Yeah.
For that pick. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them just kind of shopping around as well. Tampa Bay, I think that with they have some defensive struggles. Just basically stopping people in that division where people are airing it out constantly.
Yeah.
I think they might have to go after some secondary. I like Fitzpatrick from Alabama and also Ward from Ohio State. Which one of those guys they decide? I mean, what do they need more, a corner or a safety? So I'm going to go with Denzel Ward from Ohio State, cornerback Ohio State to Tampa Bay. And then wide receiver is huge need for Chicago. I think they're going to be a better team. And actually, I saw the over-unders. They came out today, and the over-under for the Bears was 5.5.
Really?
And I think that they can win 6 games.
I honestly, I think that what Trubisky was able to do toward the end of the season, I think that's low. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think they could probably win 6, maybe 7 games this year.
Yeah, I mean, so based on that, I know that they're in need of a wide receiver. I'm gonna reach out and step out high and say they're gonna go after Ridley for Alabama. Which I honestly don't want that to happen. I mean, they do have some linebacker needs or whatever, which would obviously put Smith from Georgia on the blocks, but we'll see what happens with that. What I would like to see happen, because obviously the Raiders are going to be coming to Vegas, is I'd really like to see Ridley still be around,
Right.
as it to become a weapon for Derek Carr, but I don't think he's going to be. Next pick, wait, that's 8,
That's
right?
it. That's
Okay.
right. And so, real quick, on the basis of your picks, I'm going to go with George Nelson for Buffalo, and I'm going to also go with for the Colts though. I'm going to step out, and I'm going to say they're actually going to go for Baker Mayfield.
Uh-oh.
And I think I think that they may be saying a lot of things, and I think Luck is saying all the right things. I think, but deep down, they know they're going to have to sign somebody.
I think they're within the amount of time where you need to start looking for a quarterback, which is literally where the Lions are right now. I mean, the Lions would be, if they could hold off and get one of these quality quarterbacks, I'd love to see that. Yeah. But I want them to get a running back, please.
I'm going to go with James as the safety for the Bucks, and I'm going to go with Ridley also as a wide receiver for the Bears.
Nice.
Right down the middle, perfect. There you go.
2 and 2, 2 and 2.
Georgie.
So wait, hold on. You Jackson from is that who you picked? Josh Jackson from Alabama or from Wyoming? I mean, I'm sorry, Iowa.
Who?
Who?
What are you talking
No,
about?
I was trying to figure out because I can't see Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. He did Josh Allen. No, you did Josh Allen. But which one are you talking about for me or for George?
Oh, I thought you picked Jackson. I'm sorry.
No, for who?
I don't know. I thought I heard the name. My bad. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
James and.
Oh, James. That's what I mixed.
Yeah, the safety for the Buccaneers.
Okay.
All right, number 9 through.
Number 9. I'd like to. Was trying to find him a middle linebacker, but I thought it's too early because of the legal problems of their wonderful linebacker from Alabama. So I'm going with the Ward, probably a best player available. One of the Ohio State finest offensive linemen and defensive backs. That's their forte, and I don't think you can go wrong with Ward. I'll hit a Notre Dame for the second time with Oakland. I think Oakland/Vegas need a offensive tackle badly, and McGlinchey or whatever is probably the closest thing to a sure thing in an unsure tackle class. I wish I could say the Browns could get him and maybe trade him down would do something, but I got them at number 10.
What was his name again?
M. McGlinchey.
McGlinchey. Okay.
McGlinchey.
That's not even close. Okay.
Okay, the Miami Dolphins would be nice to get a quarterback, but I think right now they'll stick with Tannehill until he really makes them cry. And the guy's out there now is a steal. You've already taken him though, but Jeff. But I'll take Fitzpatrick with the dual cornerback safety thing. You can't go wrong with a pick like that. I'm not changing that. And Buffalo, I finally give Mayfield the quarterback job in Buffalo.
Nice.
12th pick.
So Buffalo is at the 12th pick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before the mock drafts.
Okay, and then you have Mayfield.
Ward, McGlinchey, Fitzpatrick, Mayfield.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Well, I didn't take Fitzpatrick, but I did talk about him. I took Ward because I was talking about the difference between the two.
I'm sorry, yes.
But San Francisco is another team that needs a lot of stuff. I really think San Francisco goes after either a big guy inside, the D tackle, D end. There's a couple of guys that I really like. Vita Vea from Washington, the defensive tackle, very solid guy. And Deron Payne from Alabama. We know this guy's a beast. We saw what he did in the championship game and everything. I think one of those two guys go. For sake of the fact that I have to pick one of them, I'm going to say they're going to go with Payne to San Francisco.
Payne, and he is a...
He's a defensive tackle from Alabama. Or, he could be an end guy.
Okay.
What's that?
A DL1 tech.
Okay, I don't know whatever that means. The thing is, the terminology changes. We used to be like, yeah, he's a line guy,
Yeah.
In my day, that was what it's called, a big-ass nose tackle.
Right.
Or
that shoves your helmet back in your forehead.
Yeah, the old rover back.
So at this point, I think a lot of the offensive players are kind of, the top-end offensive players, I think there's some really good guys out there, and there might be some shockers, but there are some really solid defensive players at this point that are going to come out. So when you look at a team like Oakland, that really got scorched in a couple games, especially the games against Kansas City and against the Chargers, which is another team that I like the over-under on. And they have actually wagers on some of the sports books where you can actually bet whether they make the playoffs or not, which are interesting bets. But I'm gonna reach out. I like Edmonds from Virginia Tech, linebacker from Virginia Tech. I think that he's gonna be a solid pick. I'd love to see him on the Raiders. I mean, he's kind of got that same type of mentality, that kind of, loose cannon type of mentality. But just a really solid kid. I mean, just powerful presence, I guess would be the best way to put him in the linebacker position. And then Miami. So we go in Miami next. That's also another team. I mean, they lost Dominican Sue. They have to try to fill that gap. I think that they have to fill up that line. So I'm going to have to put – I'm kind of torn because whoever between Vita and Payne, whoever gets picked on the either side. So I guess I'm going to have to pick Vey, which is V-E-A, yeah, from
Vita Vey.
Yeah, Vita Vey from Washington. I think him and Payne could switch, but I got to pick one of them, so I guess we'll go from there. And then my last one, Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they're going to pick a quarterback, and that's the toughest spot because it depends on how you ordered those first ones.
Oh yeah.
So what did I have? So I had Darnold,
and then you
Rosen,
had Rosen
and then Allen.
third,
So I guess
Allen.
I got to pick Mayfield because he's the best one left.
Okay. I like those picks. I'm going to
Wait, hold on. I didn't pick Fitzpatrick yet. So
you may want to switch him and have him somewhere else.
no, wait.
Okay.
Since there's a reason why I didn't pick him, but I didn't know.
Okay. I'm going to for the 49ers, out of your two picks, guys, I'm going to go with Payne. And for Oakland, I'm going to go with also with a linebacker, Edmonds, because you're right. Oakland just got torched in a lot of those games.
That might be a spot for Fitzpatrick too. Now that I think about it, I had him written on the other side of the paper, unfortunately. But
and let's see for the Fins. I think that they're going to have to plug that hole as well. So I'm going to go for Villa. And then you both agreed actually on Mayfield.
Okay.
I want Mayfield to go to the Giants myself, just because my prophecy from earlier this season will come through, but I don't see that happening at this point.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
13 through 16.
On the 13th pick, Washington takes Vita Vey.
Got it.
That's where I find that they have a big hole down there, and that's going to be real nice to clog up there. Green Bay, I think I know quarterback they lost about 15 of them this past season, but I'm going to take the edge rusher, and he's the wild card and everything. This Harold Landry, he had a great junior year or maybe sophomore. I don't know if he's just a junior now, but his last year he was very average and very hurt. But I think he would be perfect in the Green Bay system to be an edge rusher for the Packers. I'm going to take the big man at number 15. Arizona takes Josh Allen at quarterback, and I hope he makes it well with some time on the bench to learn. And finally, 16, the shocker of the day. Are you ready? The shocker.
Oh boy.
Ozzie Newsome goes out blazing in his last year as one of the greatest general managers to ever live. Mr. Jackson from Louisville, the quarterback, goes to Baltimore.
Lamar Jackson.
It's time for Flacco to take a ride.
Yeah, it's a well-paid ride. I mean,
I wish I could do that too.
Wait, that money's not guaranteed though, is it?
I think I don't know if it was all guaranteed, but he received a pretty hefty signing bonus after he won that Super Bowl.
If he's there next year, he gets $19.5 or something like that, or if he's not, if he's cut before or after June, whatever that means, I don't know the legal things. It's totally off the cap. So I still think he'll be there, but I don't think he'll. I think Lamar is the answer down the road.
Okay. All right, Jeffrey.
Okay, Washington Redskins. George is absolutely right. They do need to fill some gaps there. On the fence because I still got Fitzpatrick as one of my plays, but I'm going to hold off on Fitzpatrick. I'm going to take Tavon Bryant from Florida to fill that gap for them.
Beast.
Yeah, this dude is a absolute savage in the inside. I don't think that this is the one thing that I notice whenever you hear these shows and everything that they're talking about. Oh, these guys need this. You never say, oh, I need like a savage lineman. I mean, with the exception of Ndamukong Suh, because he was like a phenom in a sense, but these guys that are in the inside in some of these squads are just absolute play after play after play. The guys you need. I think that Bryant's gonna be a good pickup. If he doesn't go to Washington, I hope that he goes to somewhere else, to another team I like, because obviously this guy's an absolute beast. Green Bay Packers. I really see them picking up offensive linemen. There's a couple guys that would be available at this point. Connor Williams from Texas would be one of them, and McGletchen from Notre Dame, which is basically was the anchor behind Notre Dame being like a solid offensive line.
Right.
Let me go with the Notre Dame.
McGlinchey.
Yeah, McGlinchey.
Couldn't pronounce his name earlier, but yeah, McGlinchey. Okay.
So then Arizona. I mean, Arizona's in a huge need for a quarterback, and I think in the offseason they signed like 19 like ex-quarterbacks. No, I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating.
I know, yeah.
But they signed at least like 3 ex-quarterbacks to 1-year deals, trying to see if one of these guys is going to make a run for the position.
Right.
I do think a quarterback would be huge. What are the chances of the guy going from Cardinals to Cardinals, Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happen. I actually want to see Lamar Jackson go to the Patriots is what I'd like to see. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Arizona take him because there is such a need, and he could be the best quarterback left at the time.
So you're thinking Jackson for Arizona?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Baltimore, although I do agree with George's theory, I like this kid from Boise State, the linebacker. And I not only like him because he's a solid stack linebacker, inside linebacker.
Okay.
But his name is Leonton
Van Der Esch. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that has like a ring to it. That's like a guy that you remember. Kind of like Barikashaw Ferguson. Remember back in the day?
Oh, God, yeah.
Everyone remembers that guy. So I'm thinking that the Ravens pick up a solid presence in the inside and go with Leonton.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, guys, I'll make this quick, so that we can, we've got 16 more spots to go. I'm going to go with the Washington Bryant, DL, and I'm going to go with Landry, the DN for the Green Bay. And I'm going to go with Josh Allen, the QB for Arizona. And I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson, the QB for Baltimore.
Wow.
Okay. All right, Georgie. 17 through.
Let's get moving here.
17 through 20.
Chargers or LA Chargers, aren't they? The LA Chargers.
Yes.
Yeah, I missed that one. I'm going to take inside linebacker, and the Steelers are going to start crying. The guy they want is Evans from Alabama, but they need an inside linebacker. I'm taking him to the Chargers. Jeffrey mentioned a gentleman named Josh Jackson, cornerback, Iowa. Seattle needs cornerbacks desperately. That's who I feel they'll take at 18 for that. Dallas really wanted Van Der Esch, but I pushed him way down because of a health problem that he actually has that nobody's talking about. But I'm going to give him a guard, Willie Hernandez, Dallas, to fix a little bit of the hole in their offensive line. And now the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Running back.
Yes.
Derek Geis.
I love it.
Book at Dano.
I hope that you're right. I hope that you're right.
They can't live with the crap that they have now. I don't
Such
care
garbage.
Brown is probably as old as Mel Brown.
Okay. This is Derek. Is it Tice?
Geis.
Geis.
G. Yeah, there you go.
G-U-I-C. Got it.
G as in George.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
LSU.
LSU running back. Okay. Jeffrey.
You happy, Jeffrey?
I'm completely with you on that pick, but we'll get to that one.
All right.
LA Chargers, which arguably going to play in a division that's going to be struggling. I mean, even though the Chiefs did well last year and they started out the way they did and, you know, the way that they finished and whatnot, you know, playoff bound, I think there's a lot of things when you pull your quarterback out and you're going to be trying basically a first-year quarterback, which I think, by the way, will be a solid quarterback for the Chiefs. I think that division is pretty much up for grabs. Saying all that, they're in a huge need of a secondary. I'm going to go with secondary Fitzpatrick from Alabama. It's going to be my play there. Seattle Seahawks, another team that's in a huge need for secondary. Couple good guys available. I like Josh Jackson from Iowa. I also like Jones from Florida State. I'm going to take Jones because I think he's a more versatile player for Seattle. Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so this guy. Oh wait, is it who?
James, you mean?
James. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry, James.
Okay.
The safety.
Safety.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I
so
wasn't trying to reprimand. I've never heard of the guy. So
no. Thank you for correcting me on that one.
Cowgirls.
Hold on, I'm looking for a lineman. There's this lineman that I saw. Derwin James. Marcus Davenport. That's who I think the Cowboys are going to go with. UT San Antonio, edge rusher. I think he'll be able to give the defense what they need as far as a pass rush. I guarantee that Cowboys fans around the globe are going to be upset about this. The other need that I do see from Dallas would be a wide receiver. At this point, just based upon everything that I see right now, Cortland Sutherland from SMU could be your guy, but I think that the defense needs a little bit more help, especially in that division that's going to definitely be opening up this year. And talk about another division where, even though the Giants have not played that well, they're still a team that's.
They'll be a lot better than they were last year.
Well, they have to be. I mean, how can you get much worse than that?
Exactly.
And then the last one, the Detroit Lions, absolutely agree. Derek Geis. If they don't draft him, I'm going to be hot because this is literally the best choice that they've had to get a solid running back in the first round since Ezekiel Elliott, which they passed on.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll make it real quick, guys. I'm going to go with, let's see, Fitzpatrick for the Chargers. And I'm going to go with James for Seattle.
The only one problem is you got James with me up in the 7th spot.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with him again here.
Beautiful. Perfect.
And I'm going to go with Hernandez for the Dallas Cowgirls.
Wait, hold on. You picked Hernandez?
Yeah, he picked Hernandez.
I love that guy. You know, he's Chaparral High School in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And obviously you guys both picked Geis, so that was an easy pick. But yeah, Hernandez, the local boy, makes good.
Yep.
All right,
All right, 21 through 24. Go ahead, George.
They're going to reach for this one because they need a tackle badly. They're going out to UCLA and get Colton Miller as their offensive tackle and hope it works out. Buffalo needs a wide receiver desperately. Ridley's sitting there. This is where he should probably go, and I'm going to take Ridley from Alabama with this. New England, cornerback to replace Butler in this. I got Isaiah Oliver, cornerback, going at 23 to New England.
Like him.
And right behind him, I could flip-flop these, but Carolina has Jair Alexander, cornerback from Louisville. I'm taking him at 24.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I agree with the fact that Cincinnati needs an offensive lineman. I'm going to go with Connor Williams from Texas, or did I pick Connor already? I don't think I did.
You mentioned
No.
him, but
Yeah, I did mention him. I didn't pick him. So I'm going to take Connor Williams from Texas. I think that, you know, their line actually, they need a couple of guys.
Yeah,
And I know that.
Williams flops as a tackle. He can move in as a guard. So one way or the other, he's going to play somewhere probably.
Yep, absolutely. Buffalo Bills, I think that at this point they could go after some secondary. I'm going to take Isaiah Oliver from Colorado, cornerback from Colorado.
Right.
And then New
Who
England.
George picked for New England.
You pick for New England. Well, this is, I mean, and this is the thing. These guys are really a toss-up because, I mean, both of these guys are pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Josh Jackson from Iowa, cornerback from Iowa, as my New England pick. And then finally, my Carolina pick, I'm going to go with a DN, rush, edge, whatever you want to call him, Harold Landry. Boston College.
BC?
BC.
BC. All right, I'll make this quick, guys. I have got to go with Miller, the offensive tackle out of UCLA, and predict that at some point he'll follow the tradition of offensive tackles, great ones coming out of UCLA, so he'll do well. I'm going to go with, let's see, I'm going to go with Oliver, the cornerback. And for New England, I just know that they're going to pick a quarterback. I think that, so I'm going to step out of this one. I'm going to go with, God, I don't know who I'm going to go with, but it'll definitely be a quarterback. I'm not sure exactly who's left, so I'll just put that one aside for now. And then I'm going to go with, let's see, Alexander, the cornerback for Carolina. All right, so we've got...
Moving on rapidly, and Tennessee, surprisingly, is one of the few teams, if you look, they don't have really that many needs. They built a really nice team and could really surprise this year. But their one shortcoming is wide receiver, and I'll take Sutton from SMU to fill that gap at 25. Atlanta has been projected to have Brian from Florida, and I'm going to take them as the D3 from them. Davenport at New Orleans as an edge rusher, just a little bit below what you took, Jeff. And then Pittsburgh, you can't. You say.
I'm sorry, George. The New Orleans. Who?
Like pardon me?
I'm sorry, George. New Orleans. You had who?
Davenport. Jeffrey took him a little bit earlier. The
Okay.
edge rusher. Pittsburgh. They have to get Van Der Esch just for the name. That's a Pittsburgh Steeler all the way. So
Beautiful.
And they also, he is an inside linebacker and an outside linebacker, and they definitely need a guy because if Shazier actually tries to play the rest of his life, I think he's an idiot. And I'm sorry, he needs to retire. His neck is awful. Anyway, go.
Tennessee Titans, Rashad Evans, linebacker from Alabama. I think that's going to be a great fit for their defense. I'm looking at I agree with you, what Tennessee has done, and kind of like where Cleveland's at right now, where Tennessee at one point had a bunch of draft picks and they stocked them all up. These guys are coming together now. Definitely going to be a solid team and be a force in a division that's literally weak, in my opinion. So I see Tennessee doing well. I'm going to take Christian Kirk from A&M as the wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. And the one reason why, and this is like a big question mark, but I'm an Instagram guy. I follow these guys on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Julio Jones deleted every picture of him in an Atlanta uniform.
I heard something to that effect. I just heard his name. I heard that there was something on social media that he had done that had some people scratching their heads, but I didn't know exactly why. So that's what it was.
And do I think that he's going to be gone this year? Maybe not, but I think he's going to be playing for a contract in a sense, which basically might give the Atlanta the idea that they need to pick up somebody to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
You got a nice young receiver at A&M. I mean, he's a solid kid. That's who I'm going to go with in Atlanta. New Orleans, I think there's a couple of gaps that they really have, especially in the secondary. But I really like this Colton Miller from UCLA, the offensive tackle. And I know that George just picked him, right? Like a couple of picks ago. Yeah. I think that's a great play. I mean, you can't go wrong with, picking up a guy that, has protected Rosen as well as he did. And you're talking about a guy that does not get rid of the ball quickly, which is going to be one of Rosen's problems when he gets to the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Amongst other things
as well. And then the last guy I'm gonna reach out in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is gonna be almost one of my plays that I'm gonna lock in as one of my four that I'm gonna get right and become a genius.
Yeah.
They pick up Maurice Hurst from from Michigan. Guy's an absolute beast on the defensive line. I'd love to see this guy at Pittsburgh. He already looks good in my eyes in a Pittsburgh uniform. So that's going to be my play.
Okay. All right. Real quickly on this one, I'm going to go with, let's see, Evans, the linebacker for Tennessee. Of your 2 picks, guys, just so that I'm clear on that, I'm going to go with Kirk, the wide receiver for ATL. And let's see, I'm going to go with, well, I've already got Miller ones, so I'm going to go with Davenport, George's pick, Davenport for New Orleans. And Hirsch, the DL for the Pittsburgh, ready to go into black and gold.
Yes.
The only reason I don't like that is because, you know, he has the heart thing that came up, and that is exact operation I've had done 3 times to burn off heartbeats. Now, he's a youngster, and he's under medication. It's going to work, but I think that drops him in the 2nd round, but he is a beast. I wish he was just healthy, but
amen.
Because that's more important than anything. Anyway, on to Jacksonville. Just keep building that defense, and I'm taking Mike Hughes, another cornerback. Probably would go even higher, except he had a little problem at his previous school and got the boot. But he did do well at UCF, and I picked him 29th. Minnesota, I got also another cornerback. You see a pattern here is Carlton Davis, cornerback out of Auburn. Solid. Finally, I picked the Payne. Mr. Payne, I dropped him down to 31 for the New England Patriots. They always can use a nice nose tackle, and they'll get their quarterback eventually. Whether it's Mason Rudolph or Laletta, they'll pick up somebody that's or Mike White would be a perfect thing for them. I'd love Cleveland to pick him up in the 5th round. Anyway, and last, I'm going with a Hurst, but I'm going with a tight end for Pittsburgh, Hayden Hurst out of South Carolina. 25 years old, but he's very good tight end. And I'm done.
All right.
Okay. Jeffrey.
Okay, so Jacksonville to solid up the inside line. I'm going to think that they're going to go with Isaiah Wynn from Georgia. Guard, I think he's a hell of a player. Definitely a guy that can help protect Broyles. So we'll see what happens. Minnesota Vikings, I think that they have a couple of needs here. So I'm kind of on the fence. I really like to see them get another offensive weapon, which would, well, I shouldn't say that because I want the Lions to win the division. But in the event that they want to win the division, which I'm sure they do, I really like the kid from Maryland, the DJ Moore from Maryland. I think he'd be a good pick for Minnesota to kind of fill in a couple of gaps that they have.
Just jumping up every board that I see.
Yeah. I mean, he's a hell of a ball player, and the one thing about Maryland is, one, they're in the Big Ten, so you know I get an opportunity to watch a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm always waiting for a guy like him to drop a pass so I can watch Wade Lees, the punter that we know from Pro Kick.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, get some action. This guy's incredible, and I think he's going to be one of the better punters this year, especially because he's got that inside the 20 ratio that's like ridiculous. I mean, the numbers is so off the chain.
Still with Maryland, obviously?
Still at Maryland, yeah. And we're hopefully, you know, I messaged him today. It was his birthday, so by the way, happy birthday, Wade. I'll send you this, Liz. But I asked him to get back on the show before we started, so we'll see if we can get him on. I'm going to take, and you gave him to Philly, but I'm going to send Hayden Hurst to the Patriots. I think this is going to be the tandem that they've been missing since Hernandez's incident. Hurst, Gronk, tight ends. If anyone can do it with Brady and Belichick, you know, having the 2 tight end. I mean, these guys are both a force. They both run wide receiver routes. You know, I see the Patriots picking them up if the guy's still around there. And then my last pick of the 1st round, I'm taking Rodney Harrison from Alabama to the Philadelphia Eagles, and this guy will literally be a force immediately as soon as he hits the field.
He's
so I'm
been dropping, but I agree with you. That's weird. He should be a 1st rounder.
I think he will be a 1st rounder.
Okay.
All right.
Last pick.
Okay. Well done, guys. I'm gonna.
Genius.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna get 4. You're gonna get 4 too. Watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna go with Wynn, the guard for Jacksonville. Jeff picked. I'm gonna go with Davis, Jorge's pick, and I'm going to go with Payne for the nose tackle, New England. Although I still think they're going to be a quarterback snuck in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Harrison, Jeffrey's pick. All right. Well, guys.
And we're missing out on a couple good people because I really like James Daniels, the center from Iowa. And I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks in there somewhere. The thing about being a center is there's only 32 people to play it.
Yeah.
You know, and they might have a guy that subs every once in a while, but center is one of the Exactly. But center is one of the positions that usually there's only one or two on the team.
Right.
And usually the backup of a center is a guard, you know, so.
And I think Ohio State's Price would have gone in the first round or early second without tearing the pectoral thing, but he sent a letter from a doctor saying he's ready for camp, so don't count him out either.
Excellent.
All right. Well, guys, listen, I think that this is outstanding. We got the 32 picks in. Well done. You guys do your homework. And needless to say, we really appreciate it. And we've got just a couple of minutes, Georgie, and I just want to ask you both, of all of the quarterbacks that we pick, who will be the last one picked for the
biggest bust?
The biggest? No, I don't want to say the biggest bust. I'll just say the last one picked in the first round.
I picked Allen last, but I don't know. I think they are. I mean, they could go early, but I have Allen going last. But are you including Jackson? Because most people don't include Jackson.
I'm actually including Jackson.
Okay, well then Jackson would go last. And there's actually 3 or 4 people that believe Mason Rudolph, which I've been burnt by some guy named Whedon. I don't believe that, but they've had him going 16th, 17th in the round. So I put Jackson as the lowest.
I actually like Rudolph myself, and there's actually some action out there where the over-under quarterbacks is 5, which basically, to me, puts it where Jackson gets picked.
Right.
And there's a chance that, if he's I think he's going to be the last one picked myself, but in the event that he is the last one picked, then he would be the 6th, so that would be the winner of the Las Vegas action.
Where does Loletta go, second round?
Yeah.
Okay.
If that, I mean, it really depends. I mean, this is a kind of a year that I see in the NFL that there's such a need for quarterbacks, like across the board, that even other teams might pick up somebody just as a solid backup quarterback.
Sure, exactly.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see that particular bet go over.
Right.
And then bet it at CG's Technology.
Okay.
Just a little plug for Jason Simmel
over there.
over
By the
there.
way, Billy, you still owe me for the 7 minutes that you screwed up with the sound system. So don't think you're going to cut my pay for the 7 minutes. I was there. All right. You guys have a great summer. Whatever you need. I'm sure college football is about an hour and a half away, but
Exactly.
I'm getting ready. So
I know you are, Georgie. I know you are.
you have a great summer and enjoy. And Jeffrey, win them big. No Vegas games at hockey. Stay home.
I will stay. I'm only going if they're up 3-1. That's it, or 3-0.
Right.
Oh, no. Okay.
Take care. We'll see you guys.
I'll be talking to you, George.
Thanks, George.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, our man, Jorge Misch from Cleveland, Ohio himself. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to switch gears. This is Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
The golf store you've been waiting for is now open. Bob Allen Golf is ready to help you take your game to the next level. Bob Allen Golf is located at 6415 South Fort Apache, Las Vegas 89148. Choose your favorite clubs from our selection of Bridgestone, Callaway, Cleveland, XXIO, Srixon, Ping, Wilson, and more. We'll custom fit them in our state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulator. Come hang out with us and practice on our putting green to find out which club is perfect for you. Have your clubs repaired, reshafted, and regripped in our on-site tour shop. And talk about accessories. Guys and gals will feel comfortable and look sharp in the many sizes, colors, and options of apparel from Greg Norman, Black Clover, Under Armour, and more. The team at Bob Allen Golf takes your game as seriously as you do. Join our online family at boballengolf.com and stop in the store to meet us. Remember, at Bob Allen Golf, your game is in the bag.
All right, we are back for round 2. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us, joining us again, the owner and CEO of the Red Hot Vegas Lights Football Club, Brett Lashbrook. Brett, how you doing, man?
Viva Lights, boys. Great to be on again.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, it's great to have you on again. And needless to say, I think everybody here, I certainly speak for myself, as well as Jeff, and as well as the Las Vegas fans, we finally got a Vegas Lights game. And it's a Friday night game.
Yes.
We got a back-to-back two weekends in a row. We have our first Friday night game. We're turned into a soccer happy hour. $3 beers outside Cashman in the Zappos tailgate, live music, food trucks. And then we got the ESPN3 Game of the Week. The undefeated Lights take on the San Antonio Football Club. So it'll be a fun night. It's going to be great weather. And
You're not kidding.
I've said this to you guys before. My goal is to get everyone in Las Vegas to give us one shot, right? Come on out to Cashman Field. If you haven't been there, you won't believe that we've got this beautiful 10,000-seat stadium in the heart of downtown. And if you've been there for baseball, you got to come for soccer because you won't recognize it. When we take out the mound, cover the signs, bring in grass on the infield, and we put 10,000 people in there singing and dancing and cheering.
That's awesome.
Well, I have cleared the decks, cleared the calendar, and I've had this one circled because Friday night is a really good night for me. And I am so looking forward to it. The weather's going to be absolutely spectacular. This crowd's going to be jacked up. Just San Antonio, you just bring it. Bring it.
Bring it. The USL team in San Antonio is owned by the Spurs, so they've had a rough week this week, right? So we look to pile it on them.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to look at it. Yeah. So Brett, again, man, you guys are, you're riding high, and it's But tell us what's new and coming. I mean, before we found out about that USL and ESPN Plus, we're not going to be streaming the games.
Yeah. So we are currently one of 4 out of 33 teams in the league. We're one of 4 teams that are still undefeated. So we put that on the line on Friday night. After we beat San Antonio, we come back the following Saturday, Cinco de Mayo, where we are giving away to the first 5,000 fans Las Vegas Lights luchador wrestling match.
Oh my God!
Why not? Right? we love to be a little bit different.
That's awesome.
We started getting the shipment in. They are absolutely fantastic. Bright blue, yellow. Luchador mask with Lights logo, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So we look to continue our unbeaten streak, and we'll play Friday night this week and Saturday night next week, and it is going to be a party.
Well, I'm going to tell you a couple things. When I saw $3 beers, I thought, this is great. This right now, they've stepped up to the level of getting. They're like talking my language here, This is absolutely fabulous.
Said, why isn't it $1 beers? I said, because we're giving you real size beer. That's why. We're not giving you little
Dixie cup
drinking water cups in the doctor's office.
Actually, I'm not going to say anything. There are other teams that have actually done that in the past, where you get a shot glass for a little beer for $1. So I appreciate the fact that.
And if you fill up a bottle of beer, it'd be like $12, right?
Okay, so I want to tell you, I went to the game again. The last game, you guys were on a bye week last week, but the week before. And before that, I sat on the other side, the closer to the. What do you call the fans that are the guys that drop the bombs?
The supporter section behind the goalie with the smoke bombs, the flags, the banners, the drums, the trumpets.
Okay, we need a better name than the supporter section. You need to get with your group over there at Zappos and see if we can pull a name out. But all the goals had been on that end, so I was sitting on that side the last time.
Right.
I saw the goals on that end, so I was thinking the seats I got this time weren't that good. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and sit because I want to get it from different points of view. You know?
Absolutely.
So I sit down in my seat right behind the guys that are the opposing fans like crazy that yelled the whole game. But 45 seconds into the game, they score a goal. On my side of the field, I was stoked. I was like, yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Lots of good action watching the game. I mean, there was a lot of missed opportunities, unfortunately, but just a lot of pressure by the Lights. I mean, it's good soccer. I mean, this is not
we have this wonderful coach in Schlieff, and he believes in this has to be an up-tempo, and we're entertainers, and goals are good, and throw bodies forward. And it's funny, we currently haven't scored as many goals as I think will come as the system breaks in, if that makes sense, right? And his philosophy is, I always call him when he talks, is he wants to be the Jerry Tarkanian of soccer. This run and gun, just go, 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 go. I don't care if I let in some goals, I'm going to score 4, right? And that not only is it more entertaining, but there is a strategic thought process to this, and it just makes it so much more fun for the fans.
Oh, it's great.
Well, I mean, I tell you one thing, that with the weather is warming up the way it is, it makes for some absolutely spectacular evenings here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said previously about Cashman Field, right? It's a 10,000-seat stadium. I think it's a jewel. I think it's soccer version of Wrigley Field and Fenway Park. It absolutely serves its purpose for professional soccer. And when you put the tailgate and the food and the music and everything outside, and you can make a night of it, at 10 o'clock you can get right back on the highway within 2 minutes, or you can go down to Fremont, east, and stay out as long as you want. There's just so few stadiums that are in that urban core of major cities that are near bars and restaurants and nightlife and casinos, right? I mean, we have all these great things here in Vegas. So I just, the more and more we spend time at Cashman, the more and more I just think it's been this hidden jewel.
Oh, it's great. And so I did hear that there was an after party at the Plaza, right? Is that where that is?
That is correct, yeah, Plaza Hotel and Casino.
Yeah, so they're doing a deal where you bring your ticket and they give you your first drink free. I mean, that's just, if you're going to go down
not
kind
bad. And you get a drink and smoke with the coach afterwards, right? There's not too many professional sports teams where the coach shows up afterwards and will drink beers with the fans.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
You mean Jose Marino doesn't head down to the local pub over there in Manchester and hang out with the Red Devils faithful?
Chalise is a man of the people, right? Marino is no Chalise.
Well, yeah. I mean, clearly he's not, and I'm saying that in the fact that I love the fact that this guy's reaching out, and just being part of the community, because Marino. I mean, listen, I'm a huge Manchester United fan, but the guy is about as greeting and as you can just somebody you really want to go out and have a beer with. Absolutely not. He's not the guy. The players, yes. Him, no.
He wouldn't fit in Las Vegas. He doesn't have that swagger. He couldn't be one of us.
Yeah.
That's right.
He could show up here and nobody would know who he is. Absolutely not. But I'm seeing more and more and more Vegas Lights gear around town. Stickers and just hats off to you guys successfully getting this out in the community. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. What are you guys averaging now in attendance?
We're over 8,000 fans a game, right? So
Look at that.
7 home games. We're over 8,000 fans a game, near the top of the league. And, I tell the staff, we just have to keep banging the drum. And it goes back to what I said earlier on in the show. 2.2 million people live here, right? We are a soccer community. We just have to convince everyone to come once. Because I know they're going to come back, right? You guys were at that game. You were singing and dancing and cheering and marching and smoking drums and banners and going, olé, olé, olé. No one can walk away without a smile on their face.
Oh, it was great.
It's incredibly affordable. Tickets starting at $15. I know our challenge right now is to get as many people to come touch and feel and smell and taste the game, if that makes sense. And I know we'll have success as long as we keep doing that.
Well, we're going to be tasting that $3 beers, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got that right. And, jam and, hitting up those food trucks. So, for me, I just have to, I just want to take a nap afterwards. So I got to, I might have to eat, get there right at, get there right at 5:30, get my fill, and then about 7 o'clock set my alarm so I can actually wake up and then go into the stadium and, be able to.
Sharing too much.
Yeah.
Sharing too much.
So another just absolute, it was a surprise to me, but something pretty cool. The first Major League Sports franchise to have a dispensary as a partner. So tell us how that happened. I mean, where did that come from?
We all live here in Southern Nevada. It's 100% legal. It's 100% taxed. It's 100% regulated. The good people of Nevada voted for its legalization, and we support downtown Las Vegas. We support Southern Nevada. So New Marketplace is 2 blocks from Cashman Field, the largest dispensary in the world. And just like us, they're investing millions of dollars into downtown. and they're a key part of that revitalization. And it didn't take too many conversations for us to realize that there's a like-mindedness of what we want to do and the support, right? And I get the shock value, right? I understand other pro teams haven't had it, but there's a aspect of I'm proud of us playing a leading role in the normalization of something that's been voted to become legalized.
Absolutely.
And whether that's sports gambling or whether that's marijuana or whether that's any of our other, I'll call it unique vices here in Southern Nevada, we aren't ashamed of being from Las Vegas, for lack of a better term, and this is another example of that.
Well, I think it's great. And so that is the one that's right on Las Vegas Boulevard, right behind Las Vegas Boulevard and Owens?
Yeah, it's two blocks away from there, yeah.
Okay. So if you drive past this building, Bill, it is a massive building. So it's not like something you're going to miss, like, some of the dispensaries are like these, kind of hidden gems. This place sits up on the hill and is like literally a massive building,
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, Brett, when did you ink that deal? Was it 420 by any chance?
Well, we announced it 1 week before that, right? I think we were a week premature, but
okay.
We had a game. We had to roll it out.
Yeah, we need to talk to your marketing guys about that one.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, there you go. And it's also important for me to say, right, because I get the the shock value and all that, but 80% of the product is I'll call it traditional marijuana, right? And they've got the cannabis creams and everything else, including a variety of things that are permitted under the World Anti-Doping Association, right? So I think, again, it goes back to this normalization process, right? There are a lot of medicinal and other benefits of the products that they're selling, and we're proud for our players to be able to utilize that and to, again, help promote a business, just down the street from us. So there's a sense of pride in this partnership as well.
Absolutely, and my father-in-law has been battling with cancer and whatnot. Going to the dispensary for him, buying a cream, where it's literally a pain relief for him. It's not like he has to dump down a bunch of medication where he doesn't know or what the side effects are going to happen. This is a cream, natural cream that he's putting on and instantly, literally almost feeling relief.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and so we've had some players who have now immediately started using the cream that have been saying the exact same thing of, whoa, this is great. And again, 100% permitted under the World Anti-Doping, right? There's nothing nefarious going on here. And again, I'm proud of that. We're opening eyes, right? And we're getting past I'll call it the initial shock and the initial joke, and having a real conversation of some of the benefits that this has on individuals.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Well, and again, man, I'm just really glad to see that you guys are taking that stand. And then we'll see what happens around the league, especially in those states that offer the same services and the same licensing as far as cannabis is concerned.
Yep.
Yeah, we've already gotten a handful of calls, so it's interesting, right? Sometimes I guess you just need the first one to go, and there's a lot of other people sniffing around, for lack of a better term.
Absolutely.
Well done. See, there you go. That's
good.
Timing.
That's good right there. So just touching on the game again this week. So we got San Antonio coming in town. I mean, how are you feeling about this? I mean, what's the vibe that's happening with the team?
The vibe is, oh my gosh, why did we have to have a bye week? We are itching to go. I was talking to Chili's just the other day, saying, oh my gosh, right? He's pulling out his hair and he's bald. If that makes just to add to the visual. They're ready to go, right? They're ready to send it, and the guys are loving playing at Cashman, right? And they're loving the individual player, introductions. They're loving the crowd. They're loving after every game we take the shirts off our back of the game-worn jerseys and give them to kids, right? They're loving that give and take that they're building, right? And then we have those 6 guys on the team that are from Las Vegas, right? That are just that heartbeat of, for Las Vegas, by Las Vegas, of Las Vegas. And it's just turned out to be this wonderful synergy in the locker room of people really rallying around this. And then when we go out and do these kind of, for lack of a better term, cutting-edge deals, right, it just brings more attention to us, right? It brings more attention to us, more notoriety, and the spotlight's thicker. And I think like any professional athlete, they thrive on that, right? They thrive on playing in front of 8,000 people. They thrive on being a top star on ESPN.com. They thrive on changing the way we do player introductions, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have this I'll call it in the most, heartfelt way with this mad scientist in Trelease, it just turns into something. We're making soccer fun again, right? And it's just a really, really fun experience, and that trickles down to the players, and that's seen on the field as well.
That's beautiful. So, I thought when you initially, Brett, I was just looking at the schedule real quick. You literally play a game like 2 days later.
Oh yeah, quick turnaround here.
Three days later, we go up to Salt Lake City. We're actually opening a new 5,000 seats USL stadium in the suburbs of Salt Lake City. It's one of those quirks, and part of this is the challenge of playing in a baseball stadium, right? We've got to, for one more year, for this the final year, we have to schedule around the 51s, which really gives us some quirks in the schedule. But yeah, we'll play on Friday, and we'll immediately get on a bus over the weekend. We'll go up to Salt Lake. We'll win there, and then we'll come back on next Saturday on Cinco de Mayo and do it all over again.
That's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, that is going to be a quick turnaround. And any idea? Any idea what the weather is going to be like up there? I mean, because Salt Lake City in April can be.
I can only worry about so much, boys. I can only worry about so much.
Really, that's essentially it's their headache, but also yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
That's gonna be good.
I got a lot of things on my worry list. That's not one of them.
Okay.
Wait, do these guys have parkas? By the way, I don't know. Do they?
$3 beers for you on Friday night. That's now bumped up my list.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and so I mean, again, first of all, congratulations again on the attendance average, because let's face it, those first few games, it was it was not for the faint of heart.
We think as the word continues to get out and we now get better weather, I mean, 3 of our first 4 games were kicking off. By the end of the game, we were in the 30s, right? 2 of them had winds over 40 miles per hour. So now that we've got that good weather, right, we've got that Saturday night, the sun is down, there's a light breeze, we think it's even going to be a bigger party.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna predict that that this game and the Cinco de Mayo game, you're going to be sold out. I really do.
We're hoping so, but I'll encourage people to still go to our website, lightsfc.com, to get their tickets. But yeah, they're going fast.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go on and make sure I get mine, and and to absolutely be part of that party Friday night.
Wait, hey, Bill still needs his scarf over there too.
Yeah.
He does need a scarf, yeah. Well, if he doesn't believe me drying all the $3 beers, maybe I'll give him a scarf too.
I may not necessarily want anything around my neck if I've had a few $3 beers.
That's beautiful. So they finished March undefeated. We're going to shoot for April undefeated.
Here, here.
Correct.
And then get these couple victories before we get back on the air. I would love to come back 4-0-2 and in first place or near the top in points in the league. That would be beautiful. So this game that we're playing on Friday, that's going to be on ESPN3.
ESPN3, as well as on local TV, it'll be on MyLBTV.
Oh, that's so great.
I've got a DVR just to see in case
air locally in Las Vegas. The majority of our games will be on MyLBTV. And then on Monday night, MyLBTV again. And then the following Saturday, I encourage everyone to come to the stadium, but if you can't make it, set your DVRs and watch us on MyLBTV again. Yeah. So we have 3 games here the next 9 days, 2 of them at home.
Yeah. Hey, set those DVRs and go out to the game so you can see a few, and then watch yourself really act a fool.
and buy scarves, mini scarves.
Buy scarves.
There you go. Okay, so with your partnership at Zappos, you haven't figured out a way to get beer to the house for these guys that are watching the game at home? I mean, come on. We got to think out the box here.
I would rule nothing out when it comes to Zappos. I don't know what every meeting I have with them, they pull out another crazy idea that I love more and more. So
that's beautiful.
They will somehow have a llama delivering beers to people's houses by the end of the season.
I
my
love
goodness.
it. That's beautiful.
Well, Brett, so let me ask you, anything on the horizon that you may want to give us a little sneak peek at?
I think it's these next 2 home games, right? Again, we'd love to get as many people as we can to get out, with tickets starting at $15 on, Friday night we've got the $3 beers, and then the following Saturday we've got the free luchador mask. It'll be really fun. No matter what your age, everyone likes a luchador mask.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So we're excited, right? We just keep banging along and turning this into a soccer city.
I'm getting there. I need a mask. It's funny because I said I was going to wear the mask last time and I didn't, but I'm gonna pull mine out. This one's straight out of Mexico. So, you know what? Hey, if you guys go undefeated,
all right, everyone's listening, right? We want a picture on the next episode.
Oh, you know what? I will send you a picture, as a matter of fact. And I might even wear the tights. How about that?
Woo!
I'll get out there with cash and with my tights on, and
You heard it here, folks.
and my wife will be running for the hills.
Breaking news at Southern Nevada Sports News.
The soccer rocker.
I love Cash, man. He's a good dude, and I love what he's doing. The whole appearance of what he's doing, the way he gets out there and interacts with the fans is great. By the way, he is there before the games.
In on a Harley Davidson. I mean, this is so Vegas.
No, it's so great, man.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
are doing a great job, Brett.
I appreciate that. And before I let you go, I have to say, on behalf of everyone at the Lights, man, oh man, go Knights, go! The Golden Knights are just. It is so exciting what they're doing for this city.
Here,
absolutely.
here. My goodness. Yeah, it is mind-boggling. I mean, I was in L.A. last week on business, and it was everybody just kept saying, "Oh, we just need that one," and then get back there to Vegas, and I know a lot of Kings fans, and they were just not real thrilled at all.
Yep.
Yeah. But,
Well, the one thing that I like is that nobody is really giving them a chance against San Jose, and I even heard somebody else say, whoever wins this series has no chance against Winnipeg or Nashville. So that's the type of stuff I like to hear. I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they're just doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
They really have. They really, really have. And you have to believe I was very pleased when they were playing Thursday, Saturday. I was like, oh, fantastic! Everyone can go to all the games.
There you go.
Absolutely, man.
That's playing
That's
Friday
good.
night this week.
Well, if you have any free tickets to any of those games, just give me a shout, man. I'll be there in minutes.
Listen, we don't want this guy roaming around down there for. Now, with his track record, Brett, we do not want Jeff attending any Vegas night playoff games.
He'll be the guy who takes off all the T-shirts and throws them in the crowd.
All right, thanks, Brett, for everything.
We appreciate it, man.
We'll
Always,
be in touch.
you guys are. You remember, you're always a friend of the show and always a guest.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Take
thanks,
care
Brett.
now.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Brett Lashbrook, owner, CEO of the Red Hot Vegas Lights Soccer Club, football club, for those of you out there in the know. And a very unique Friday night game this Friday, Cashman Field. Again, 5:30, the Zappos tailgate party kicks off. They're playing against San Antonio Football Club. They're undefeated. It's going to be a spectacular night. And, of course, the following Saturday, Cinco de Mayo, they're giving away the Lucha Libre mask to how many?
First 5,000.
First 5,000 fans get the Lucha Libre mask for the Saturday Cinco de Mayo game. This is so if I were you, I would suggest you go online, get your tickets. $15 is what they start at, because I'm predicting that this one and next Saturday is going to be sold out.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to switch gears. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
Need help with your taxes? Numbers not adding up? Wondering how recent tax changes might affect you? Don't pay more in taxes than you have to. Give us a call. No matter how complex your taxes may be, the best tax professionals are at your disposal. For fast refunds and professional service, give us a call today.
All right, we are back for the knockout round. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us on the line, our buddy from the ATL, the NBA man himself, Big Torrance Hall. How you doing, Torrance?
I'm doing great, brothers. How y'all doing out there in Vegas this evening?
Doing great.
Not bad at all, man. I tell you, it's actually starting, surprise, warm up. I think it's supposed to be in the 90s until probably fall now. Who knows? I'm never surprised as to how quick it starts here, but it's in full effect. So tell me, man, needless to say, we are now knee-deep in the NBA playoffs.
Yep.
But before we, touch bases on that, the first hour of the show this week, we had our annual NFL draft. show, where we Jeff and our other buddy from Cleveland, George Misch, had their picks for the first 32 picks in the NFL, essentially the first round. And needless to say, we know that the Falcons are near and dear to your heart. And I was trying to see exactly. I don't think they pick. If not, is it to the 26th? Is it really their first pick?
Yeah,
I think it's the 27th pick.
Yeah, we got you down as a 26th pick. So before we get into the NBA, first, what is up with your buddy Julio Jones?
Oh, well, a good friend of mine that's affiliated with the Falcons pretty much said Julio's just rearranging his life and friends and things of that nature. He's doing a new start. Pretty much he's still a Falcon. He's not leaving the team at all. He's definitely going to be with the Falcons long term, trying to retire the man there. But it's just, people get caught up in Twitter, Instagram, and just because he deleted a few pictures, it's just more of a fresh start for him, that's all.
Usually what I try to do is when I go for a new life is I delete all the stuff from my past life. But, whatever you say, Torrance.
Pretty much.
Okay.
No, I'd hate to see Julio Jones go, and of anybody that doesn't want to see him go. I know the offensive coordinator and the quarterback certainly don't. Matt Ryan, that's the last thing he wants to see is Julio Jones leave.
No, of course, man. The city would hate to lose Julio Jones. It's like when we lost Deion Sanders,
Yeah.
or even Vic, at one time, this situation. But same way. So those guys are just superstars, just different from your normal stars. These are superstars. Every team doesn't have those kind of players on there. So,
speaking of Michael Vick, do you see Lamar Jackson kind of competing at that level? I mean, I saw a post, was it yesterday or the day before, about an OC that said that this guy could never play pro ball. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think Lamar Jackson definitely can play pro ball. Pretty much pro ball is basically learning the playbook. If you know how to learn the playbook and you can have a high IQ and you know how to, if you're a quarterback, know how to read the defense and study, and really try to focus, you'll be all right, man. And he has another blessing on him because he's super fast. So he can always rely on his legs if he need to. He'll be kind of being more like Vic. I would want him to be like Vic because Vic took a lot of hits sometimes, kind of made him miss 2 seasons of them injuries and everything. But he definitely could play to the status of Vic. He got a speed and accuracy and everything, and a good arm.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, I think that if for some bizarre reason he falls, just sort of cascades in the draft, somebody will sign him. They'll get him on the cheap, but somebody will sign him. It's almost like nobody wants to spend, on a draft pick or a high draft pick. But if he goes down, and I look at somebody like Bill Belichick, who always manages to find these diamonds in the rough in the second and third round, and if he's still hanging around there, I can absolutely see Belichick and the Patriots take a flyer on him and say, come on in.
Well, Bill, that was the word I heard a few times. There was a little speculation out there, watching different shows or whatever, and just conversation, saying that Bill Belichick was actually interested in him. Anyway, so that's funny you mentioned it.
Especially since not everybody, but enough people are, sort of saying like, no, you can't take this pick, and no, you can't draft him in this round. That's almost like a red flag to a bull. As far as Belichick is concerned. Right. Yep, I can bring him in because it's essentially his system. It's the Patriot system. And believe me, if he can't get the Patriot system, he won't last long. But if he can, he'll be there forever.
Yeah.
That's Ocho Cinco,
Yo.
He only played one play in the Super Bowl for the whole season. And I think he played a preseason game or something. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, so without further ado, man, the NBA playoffs are in full swing. We've already have, a couple of series that have been decided. I don't think anybody's surprised that Golden State, knocked out San Antonio.
Yep, we all had that.
Yeah, that was going to be a pretty rough ride. But Where do you see the surprises? Because I know where I see a few surprises.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. The biggest surprise of all, and I actually consider this team like one of the dangerous teams now. When you just look at, because they're a bad matchup. Just like KD went to Golden State a year ago, and that just had a matchup disaster. When you look at what's out there now, what you called it yourself, Bill, New Orleans, what they look like right now, they look like a matchup you don't want to see, man, because Drew Holiday is playing like a low-key MVP right now, focus, and that key guy they got from Chicago, Misch, he's playing super good right now. So I think they got a good chemistry down there, man. That's my surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I was, I really had this feeling about New Orleans that it was just one of these teams that nobody expected to make the playoffs.
That's right.
And that, if they could get a couple of wins under their belt, then it was just like, we've got nothing to lose and everything to win. Now they have a chance to essentially shock the world by going up against Golden State. And I'm just going to kind of ride this thing till it ends, but I don't think that for a minute Golden State can go to sleep on New Orleans and just say that and look past them. This could be a very, very interesting matchup for them. And honestly, I'm happy to see it. I mean, I love to see the little guys get a chance to get in there and do something, make something happen.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I don't know if they had said anywhere else in America, but we're saying it right here live on your show right now. It's the battle of the towers of AD and KD, live and direct.
I agree.
Unibrow and KT, huh?
Hey, Unibrow and the young goat.
Oh man. Let's see. The one that that you have that sort of like look. Unfortunately, the other night, I mean, I was really kind of thought that maybe somebody had everything to lose and nothing to gain. It was the Houston-Minnesota series. Houston's third quarter the other night was just mind-boggling. I watched that entire third quarter as it unfolded, and just to sort of, in case anybody know it, I mean, it was like basically a 4-point game at the half.
It was actually a 1-point game.
Yeah, well, that's right. It was one, and Houston put 50 up in the third.
It's hard to combat.
They could not miss. I mean, there was nothing they could, and at the same time, there was nothing that Minnesota could do right.
Yeah, they didn't play with no enthusiasm, man. I wish I could have called time out and teleported there, man, and told them, wake up, man. They didn't have no enthusiasm. Rose had more enthusiasm than anybody on this squad.
And you're right, that crowd was kind of out of it, but the players looked like they were out of it. And then the plays that they were running. I mean, there were guys just sort of like standing. They would just essentially kind of run the same kind of outside, post up, and then take a shot. Nobody was getting a offensive rebound, and nobody was even getting a defensive well, there weren't very many defensive rebounds out at the Houston end. But it just seemed like they were just like, it was like they were already out of this series, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Right, and they matched up well with, and they just were taking bad shots. Nobody was cutting across the middle looking for the pass. No type of flow with the offense. They were just standing back watching one another like, well, you take it, or you take it. Yeah, it was a horrible game, man. It was okay to that third quarter, man. It shut down.
Yep, I agree. I mean, that's a lot of good basketball, and honestly, I don't really watch the NBA during the year. I think that there's just too much stuff happening where you're like watching them one time, they're playing well, and then a team misses 20 straight times down the floor, and then the other team outscores them like 82-4 run, and it's just like how does this happen? These guys are professional, you know what I mean?
Right.
But this is the time of year where it's good. So the Raptors won today, so they go up 3-2 in the series. I think they wrap it up in the next game. They just tied. Pacers just tied the game with 33 seconds left. They're giving Cleveland some struggles over here. The series is already tied at 2, and you're talking about possibly Indiana going up 3-2 in Cleveland.
Indiana missed a golden opportunity that last game.
Yeah.
They should be getting ready to possibly go up 3-1. I mean, you know, there was just, I don't know. Look, if they fool around and muck this one up, then the series is over. You know, you have to essentially beat them 2 games in a row, and I think it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
But nobody will be more happier than people in Toronto if they can finally wrap this damn thing up.
Yep.
They've been looking forward and looking forward and looking forward to having home court advantage. Now they have it. And guys, I remember saying the 2 teams, Houston and Toronto, nobody had more to lose and less to gain by these first round matchups.
Yeah, no doubt. And talking about Toronto with the tragedy that happened this week.
Oh, God, yeah.
And hours later, literally, the Maple Leafs playing. We'll just go to hockey just for a second. But that, you know, for them to be down 3-1 in that series, tie it back up, and now tonight, I believe.
7 game. Yeah, game 7 is
Right.
should be already playing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the Utah Jazz that have an opportunity to end that series.
Woo!
Man, what a team!
That's it. Man, those boys really out there, man. They really are humbling Mr. Westbrook, man. Westbrook, I like him. He's a good player, but this a total wreck out there, man. And somebody need to give Carmelo Anthony some new knees. He's done.
Yeah. I mean, look, this was at best a noble experience. I'm sorry, a noble experiment as far as Carmelo was concerned.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
Right.
you knew the guy wasn't going to play very much defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And you knew that he was going to a team where essentially, you know, you had a guy who's averaging a triple-double.
Right. Exactly.
How do you fit into this scheme?
Right.
When you're in the West, you've got to play defense. You've got to get out and you've got to defend threes, you know, if you can. Well, you know, come on. You know what Carmelo's game has always been about.
Sure. Speaking of not
it's
much
all about
defense.
scoring, man. But I just don't think they never got chemistry. Plus, they don't have a tough bench. You know, they bench is they're not that deep too. They like maybe 2 men deep with a 7-man roster. Really, they're not that deep. So it looked bad for him. I like Westbrook a lot, but PG, he felt how he was shooting the other night. He was taking like Steph Curry type shots. Pretty much like, yeah, it'll be over soon. I'll be playing for somebody else in that shirt. He really didn't care.
Right.
See if you got those vacation, you know, deals set up already. You know, yeah.
He was real nonchalant when he was shooting the other night. He scored a lot of points, but he was just jacking them up like he was just practicing. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They body language was awful.
Yeah. Speaking of not a whole lot of defense, 4-3, Toronto up after the second period.
Go Leafs.
But Boston explodes for 3 goals in the first period and is actually down in that game.
And down
4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
And yeah, this might be a team of destiny.
Yeah.
You know.
When stuff like that happens, man, that just fires up the whole city and the crowd and everything. So I'm behind Toronto.
Yeah, you know, and then for Toronto right now, I mean, you know, you've got the Leafs, you know, in playoff action, and you've got the Raptors, you know, home court. Yeah, exciting times in
Yep,
Toronto.
absolutely.
You know, for a change.
Yeah, Toronto looking good.
Yeah.
Good
you know,
thing because those winters suck over there.
Okay, yeah, I knew that was. Oh, let's see, Boston and Milwaukee. They are. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, I like Boston. I think Boston gave a game away the other night. They should have ended the series. And you got to watch out because Middleton looked like he's coming around, and Parker looked like he's coming around. And that little scuffle they had last night with Bledsoe might have lit a fire up under him. So it's still in the air, honestly. I know it's hard to win a Game 7 historically in Boston, so that might give them the edge. It just depends on who wanted the most, honest, with that series.
Well, so far I picked them all right, so I'm going to stick with my play because I did pick Milwaukee in that one. I'm gonna hope that Milwaukee draws that out a little bit further.
Okay. And of course, the 300-pound gorilla in the room, the high-flying 76ers.
Oh man.
I mean,
Man.
yeah, they made it look really easy with Embiid coming back, and I mean, granted, you know, Miami is not a litmus test.
Yep.
But it was a tune-up for them for the next round.
Well, hold on, because someone on this phone actually picked Miami to win that series.
Did I?
No, not you.
Hey,
Wasn't that you, Torrance? Maybe I got that wrong.
For what I picked the Boston, it was gonna be Boston to Miami.
Oh, okay.
It didn't work out that way.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because we
That's
didn't
right,
have
'cause
all
we-
the
yeah,
picks
we didn't
in.
know who it was
I
going to
picked
be.
Miami to beat Boston.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
If it comes to, he's ready for that. But now, I like Philly. I like Philly, man.
Oh, they look good.
I think Simmons and Embiid are like what you call a Penny and O'Neal almost. You know,
Yeah.
how they play right now. You know, they young and fast, and they got great shooters, man. You got Belknap, man, and you got J.J. Redick.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and Redick, you know, I mean, he's he's kind of playing with that edge now. Not so much he had when he was with the Clippers.
Yeah.
And I think because he had to take a back seat, you know, to CP3, and so I think that and he's actually a veteran, which is for as far as that locker room is concerned. But these guys are going at it, and they're playing really good defense too. This is not just about jacking up threes and hoping that you outscore them. These guys, they get back, they play D, they're physical, which you got to be in the East. I mean, I don't care what team you are, got to be. And and so whoever ends up drawing them next, heaven help them, because they're going to need it.
Yep. Speaking of three, Cavaliers win the game by 3. And go up 3-2 in the series.
Yeah, again another lost opportunity for the Pacers.
Yep.
I was kind of hoping that that Indiana would knock them off, just shake things up.
Yep.
And and then we wouldn't have to. It wouldn't have to be the lead. Of course, somehow ESPN, Fox Sports, it would still be the lead story if Cleveland were to lose this series. They would be the first topic during the playoffs, the remainder of the playoffs, during the championship series. Where's LeBron going to go?
Before even the season's over, they'd be talking about where he's going to land.
And then once the season's over, it'll still be the first topic. It's just the way it is. I mean, which is why I essentially have stopped watching, these shows anymore.
I don't watch them at all. I don't watch them at all.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness gracious.
There is a couple of guys I listen to because they're more objective. I think that a lot of guys on the radio in general, and that's kind of why I like doing the show with you and George, because I don't watch that stuff at all, and the opinion you get is me watching it. It's not like, oh, so and so ESPN said this or whatever. I can't even name the other shows, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know who they are. But
my sources say, I don't have any sources.
I look at the game and I listen to the guys on there and I'm thinking, man, that sounds dumb what he just said. So it's like,
Yeah, look, just either tell us who it is or shut up. My sources say, I don't have a source.
Yeah.
You know what my source is? The remote control for my TV. Whatever game I happen to be locked into or watching. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, and guys like you, Torrance. And you, Torrance. You're my NBA
source, believe
That's
me.
it, buddy.
Because
I'll sit back and listen, and then I'll watch a decipher, man. And as you watch games, man, you just sit and watch certain plays, how people play, and you just kind of compare to what you've seen before, and you can see just certain energies in certain players. If they got it one night or they don't, and who really looks like they have good chemistry. All that. That's what I kind of just base it off of, just watching the movement of the team, the whole movement.
Here.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you on that. And you know what? When it comes down to a lot of these games, and when I watch the NBA, there's just so much that draws people to the NBA, especially at this point of the year, where these players, this is it. This is when it comes down.
Yeah.
These are the top guys. These are the people you want to see play basketball. It's almost like a soap opera for men. It's like what's going to happen, and that's what draws you back to the next game. That's why a lot of times, I don't even watch until it's really coming down to crunch time with these teams, because I want to see. Let me see the end of this. I'm not really as much into watching the whole thing. Now, college basketball, obviously, I feel differently. I could sit there and watch a whole college game.
Yeah, because there's definitely a distinction between the first half and second half of college games.
Sure.
It's almost like the first half is just a feeling out process. And then the second half, the coaches say, okay, this is what we're going to, all right, this is how we're going to win this game.
Right. But, I mean, unless it's the second half of the Michigan-Villanova game, because I didn't watch that at all.
Okay.
Because I already knew that was going to be a massacre, so there's no reason for me to torment myself.
You're honestly, you're right. I think that if you watch the second half of an NBA game, you really haven't wasted anything.
That's right.
Unless somebody had a milestone moment. I mean, there was their 50,000 points or something crazy like that.
Right.
Something crazy. Crazy. You can miss a few games.
You sure can. And but I mean, I am looking forward to see how this goes. And I am pulling for a couple of teams here, but I really think that this New Orleans Golden State series is very interesting.
I was actually trying to find the odds on that series. I have not been able to find it, but I will post it on our Twitter, SN Sports Network, as soon as I find it.
I think that series there is going to come down not even to KD and not even to AD, but to the role players. You know, how is Draymond going to keep his cool? Is Drew Holiday going to, you know, assault Klay Thompson on the defense end? Is Steph going to come back in time enough? How good is Eagle Dollar going to play in this series? You know, and you just have to weigh that out, because, you know, AD and KD, they're going to get their points. They're going to score, shoot, block shots, affect all kind of ways. But the role players, those guys are going to have to step up.
Absolutely, I agree. And whoever wins that series probably going to have to play Utah to go to the championship, I mean, which is not going to be easy.
No, unless something very.
Could go to the championship.
I agree.
Yeah, this Utah team. I mean, again, it's one of those kind of teams where it's tough to name four guys. They just gel very well, and they've kind of come out of nowhere, along with New Orleans, to be suddenly competitors. And you know that New Orleans is going to knock off. Utah's going to knock off OKC here eventually.
Yeah,
it's a done deal. OK's on life support right now.
Yep.
Yeah, but who would have seen this? You know, I mean, we did.
We did. Actually, we did see it. And I mean, I'm looking at it, current lines right now. And I'm not going to name the sports book because they're not our partner, but Utah Jazz 28-1 to win it all. That might even be worth a $100.
That or at least a 10 spot. I mean.
Yep. I might need it to actually pay for our dinner at Golden Steer, because somehow the Tigers keep winning, and now I know why it is, because I'm watching it. I'm like, how is this team winning? And all of the teams in that division are garbage. They're playing Cleveland, whose bats are like stone cold. They're playing KC,
because it is
junk.
cold. I think it's because of right now it's the bitter temperatures, and the Tigers seem to be flourishing in the winter. Maybe, you know, once it starts to warm up a little bit, then
hopefully they'll start to stink. Either way, we're gonna have a great meal over at the Golden Steer. Hey, by the way,
can't go wrong there.
Did you see the menu?
Yes, and thank you so much for sending that.
That's unbelievable.
That was. I saw that. Was it $4?
Yeah, it's like $3.50 for a steak.
For a steak. Yeah, 1962 menu.
1962
Torrance.
menu.
Not lately.
$3.50 for a steak. And if you've been to this place, next time you and the wife come out, Kim and I will take you over there. Top end. When you look at it from the outside, you're like, wow, this place has been here for a while.
It looks like a locals place.
Yeah, it really looks does. Okay, you know, I'm not sure. You step in there, atmosphere is great.
Yep.
Food is like phenomenal. Best steaks literally in Vegas.
It's like walking into old Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Gotta go.
Yeah, and you absolutely have to be a carnivore. I mean, you got to be a meat eater. This is no place for the faint of heart.
One thing about it, when I came out to Vegas, I told last year, I said, please take me to go get some burgers, man. I got to go. When I go to Vegas,
we did too, man.
Got to get a good burger. I didn't get a steak, but I did get a good burger.
Well, next time we'll make sure, you know, that you get a good steak, you and the wife. That's for sure, man.
Absolutely.
Torrance, man, as always, we can't thank you enough for coming on to the show. And first, and let people know how they can follow you, especially the Strawberry Treats.
Oh, well, you can follow me at Just One Taste, or you can do at Just_1_taste, or you can do Chef Hall _specialty 79.
There you go. That's what's happening, man. So you sit back and you enjoy these games, brother.
Indeed, I will.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Take care, man.
Good. So, what's your thought about Philadelphia? Because we only got a minute or so left.
Yep.
About Philadelphia sports.
That suddenly it has now become. Yeah.
You got the Eagles. You got Villanova. Now you got the Sixers.
Sixers, right?
And then Philly's still in the mix, but hopefully they're probably going to be out soon with the Flyers.
It's you know, they. I guess that's also a wrap.
Oh, it is a wrap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because guess who Washington has to play next?
Washington probably plays Pittsburgh.
Yes.
But you already know that's going to happen. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it was because of the way that the teams finished, but the way that they ended up playing, especially in the West, the whole division played.
Yeah.
So Vegas played the Kings, and then St. Louis played Anaheim, and now they're playing each other, and then it's happened on the same way on the other end.
Yeah, but to Philadelphia, but to get back to your question, it suddenly has become this sports town.
Yeah.
And and things are cyclical because God knows the Phillies aren't going to be part of that parade.
That's true. That's true.
But it has built up slowly. And because let's face it, we know where the Sixers were 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
And they are now beasts in the East. And I think it's great. Philadelphia is a tough town. It's a tough town to live, tough town to visit, and it's a tough town to play in. Don't let anybody get I have been to Philadelphia games, and it can be kind of scary. But
I have too, but the Vet, so it's been a minute.
It has been. That's where I went to, and thank God they tore it down. Only stadium that actually had a jail cells and a judge and a courtroom down below in the facility to expedite justice because they knew it was coming.
That's right.
Join us next Wednesday, folks. 6 p.m. back to 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Have a great week.
And God bless.